And was shocked to find his paycheck garnished for some $500.
Can't have that. The reason, a debt that he thought he had taken care of a long time ago. Channel 2 investigative reporter Nicole Carr looked into his debt dilemma and the people responsible for taking his money.
He agreed to settle the debt in 2013. When the law firm handling his payments dissolved, he thought his debt did too. An attorney we spoke with broke down why that isn't the case.
In 2013, I was served by the Rockdale Sheriff Department with papers for debt.
It was debt Kerry Pope didn't fully recognize. Still, he felt pressure to settle.
It was hassle, basically told, you need to pay this, or you can lose your car, we can come after your garnishment for your wages, which at the time I was unemployed.
He signed this consent judgment, agreeing to pay $25 a month. A payment portal was set up by Frederick J. Hanna and Associates, the law firm handling his settlement. The firm was sued for violating the Fair Debt Collection Practices Act and eventually dissolved.
All of a sudden, my portal went away. There was nowhere to send my payments to, so I'm thinking it's settled.
Years later, on payday, he found out it wasn't.
My check is short. I have a garnishment, and I'm losing it because I'm like, wait a minute, where's my money?
When he asked his employer about the missing money, they gave him this paperwork explaining that Cooling and Winter, another law firm, had started collecting on the old judgment.
No warning, no anything.
Cooling and Winter told us in an email they sent Kerry this letter informing him they'd taken over his payments. Kerry is adamant he never got it.
When it comes down to it, this is a judgment, and you have to try to pay it.
Attorney Jill Sheridan told me judgments are good for 7 years and they can be renewed.
Which means theoretically, if the creditor renews it properly every 7 years, it can be an indefinite judgment hanging over your head.
She said because Kerry signed the judgment, he's on the hook for the money, regardless of the portal disappearing.
Ultimately, if he hasn't made any payments over a certain amount of time with a consent judgment, it would be considered in default.
And his wages can be garnished. That doesn't sit well with Kerry.
I'm still angry because every 2 weeks, I'm short.
The big takeaway here, understand that when you sign a consent judgment, you are entering into a contract and will be responsible for that debt. Before you agree to anything, make sure you know what the debt is that you're being sued over and document everything.